Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Teach Me Something Tuesday episode of the Healthcare Education Transformation Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. F. Scott Feil, and today we're going to cover three pitfalls to avoid when it comes to AI and technology. Obviously, AI is here, it's not going anywhere. And that's okay. That's a good thing, right? Like we can use this stuff. Technology is good. It's gotten us this far. AI getting better by the day. We need to learn to embrace it. But three pitfalls that we have to avoid when utilizing technology and AI are basically the first one is just the humanistic and empathetic side of learning, right? Without humanism and without incorporating the human element and empathy, learners tend to become passive, right? They tend to just sit there and consume and consume and consume all of this information that's sent to them, and we have to realize that passive receiving of information without any sort of human element to it really makes it hard for people to inherently learn the information that we're giving them, right? So if you just ask for a bunch of information and facts, it's tough to really set a root and foundation in that because it is just that there's no neural connections, right? Our mind doesn't think of the 30,000 foot view or the big picture and what that means to humanity and society, right? So we have to realize that if we don't have that empathetic relationship and that humanistic element of knowledge, it's going to be hard to pass that information on and worse, make it stick, right? The second pitfall we have to avoid is realizing that AI and technology have helped us gather information, but that information can't just be short-circuited, right? It can't just be imprinted on our brains, right? So realizing that all the facts, we live in the information age, right? The information era. All the facts are literally at our fingertips. We can pull up a smartphone and look up a fact, you know, but we know that rote memorization of facts is not learning. I was guilty of that myself, right? I had to learn how to learn. And so the fact that all of these bits of information and data are out there for us if we want to look it up, it just means that we now no longer need to worry about learning and memorizing facts. Instead, we have to focus on this higher order thinking, like independent thinking, like creative thinking, like critical thinking, and problem solving and decision making, because that is where we're actually going to remove any sort of fact memorization stuff that we don't need in our brain and create room for the things and connections that do make sense to have in our brain long term, so that then subconsciously we can start to learn these things because it's stored in our long term memory, right? So realistically, while AI will help us with the facts and the little things, right, the tedious process of memorizing those facts, the best way we really ensure the higher order thinking skills are to really focus on the things and the processes of problem solving, of figuring things out, of making the right decisions and diagnosing, right? Last but not least, this pitfall is a big one for me. I know that technology in general is an invitation to multitask, right? We have all of these apps and all of these opportunities at our fingertips again on the smartphone that if you open up an AI app and look something up, it could lead you down a rabbit hole, right? A lot of these apps are throwing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars at becoming more addictive and gamifying the system so that it keeps you on their platform. It keeps you in front of them. It keeps you looking at their things so that they can advertise to you or, gain your attention and keep it, right? So while we should be using AI and we should be using technology, we also need to realize that we need to use it for just what we need and then get off and move on, right? And get back to the thing we were trying to do or learn, right? We don't want to just sit on the computer or the phone all day, right? And say that, oh, we're using it for learning, right? Because that's just kind of an excuse to then go down the rabbit hole and become distracted. So making sure that we are using AI and technology just for what we need and then getting out and returning to our tasks and our higher level thinking. Those are the three risks and pitfalls to avoid when using AI and technology. Hope that this was helpful, and we will see you on the next one.